What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Whales and Locks. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Big 12 Tournament 2021 edition. This is definitely the most anticipated conference tournament, I would say, in terms of just not having a team that's clearly going to win the tournament. You have 7 teams in this tournament who have a legitimate shot, I think, at possibly winning this whole thing, given that Baylor doesn't necessarily need this tournament. After they likely are going to be a 1 seed regardless. So this will be an awesome tournament. Let's go ahead and break it down. First game to start, of course, we get a really bad one to start in number 8 TCU and number 9 Kansas State. I'm going to take TCU here. There's a clear bottom 2 of this conference in Kansas State and Iowa State. They're both certainly in that. So I'll take TCU here as they're just a lot better than Kansas State here for sure. So we will ride with the Horned Frogs. Next game here is Oklahoma, Iowa State. Oklahoma, one of these top 7 teams was going to have to play in this first round matchup. Unfortunate that it had to be Oklahoma. They are losers of 4 straight. Oklahoma is still one of my top 4 teams in the Big 12, regardless of their seed here. So I'll take Oklahoma easily here to win this game. These two were pretty easy, no doubt. Oklahoma and TCU were pretty much locks. So now we get to the real good basketball. The first game of the day, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Such an unbelievable game. I vastly underestimated Oklahoma State throughout the season and what they could do without Cade Cunningham. I really thought Oklahoma State just didn't have the pieces around him. Boy, was I wrong. Watching them against West Virginia, they are just elite. Avery Anderson is an absolute star in the making, a sophomore guard. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State here to pull off the 4-5 upset. I just think they are a little bit underseeded here just because they came on a little bit later in the season. They've really looked good lately. So now we've got Baylor and TCU. I think Baylor could win this game by 25 points. I mean, this Baylor team is hungry and fully back after beating Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, both by double digits, to close out the season for them. So I will take Baylor here to win this one pretty easily. Now we've got Kansas and Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma here. I know they haven't looked good lately, but they've been in some tight ones lately and haven't pulled them out. But I just think they're mentally tough at this point, and we'll just beat this under talented Kansas team. I haven't been a big fan of Kansas all season, and I will continue not to be in this game. I just think Kansas just isn't all that talented, and Oklahoma is. I'm taking the talent here. Now we've got number 3 Texas and number 6 Texas Tech. Another interesting matchup of 2 Texas teams here. But again, Texas's guards here are just so much better than what Texas Tech throws out there. Mac McClung is great, but Texas has 3 legitimate guards who can shoot the 3, drive. They're smaller for sure, but they definitely pose a threat to these Texas Tech guards. So I will take Texas here. So now we've got an interesting Final Four here in the Big 12. You could say we've got one big upset here in Oklahoma over Kansas, and then Oklahoma State over West Virginia, a small upset. But Oklahoma State Baylor here. Call me crazy all you want. What I'm going to do, I'm taking Oklahoma State. I am riding with them right now. Oklahoma State is absolutely special. The kid Avery Anderson, as I said, is special as well. You pair that with getting Cade Cunningham back and Isaac Likely after they just beat West Virginia on the road. I mean, this team is just ready to go. And at the same time, we look at Baylor. They did just get the Big 12 regular season championship, and they talked about how important that was to them after not being able to get it last season. It was like they won their championship before it even ended. Winning that game and winning the Big 12 championship regular season. So I don't even think they really care as much about this as they did the regular season. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State here as they're just hungrier, I think. Now we've got Texas and Oklahoma. Texas, to me, is just a terrible matchup here for Oklahoma. Too big inside with Jericho Sims going against Brady Manick. So I will take Texas here. As the Big 12, as I said, is absolutely wide open. So seeing a final with Oklahoma State and Texas really doesn't surprise me at all. It could be Kansas, it could be West Virginia. We could see a West Virginia versus Texas Tech final. It's just the Big 12 is wide open, and being on a neutral court, we'll finally get to see who really comes out as the true best teams, as a lot of teams were winning at home and losing on the road in some of these games. So we've got Oklahoma State and Texas. Agreed. This is not the Big 12 final you probably expected, but as I said, this conference is absolutely crazy. I'm going to take Oklahoma here to continue the quest and pull off this win here against Texas. And at this point, they would have wins against West Virginia, Baylor, and Texas. This could legitimately set them up to be a possible number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, adding these 3 really quality wins. So if they did that, that would not surprise me at all if they got moved into a 2 seed if they won the conference here. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State ultimately to win the Big 12 tournament here. Two teams that I think to take for some value if you're looking to take some teams when in considering odds betting are definitely Oklahoma State, as I do have them winning it all, but also Oklahoma. I like their matchup here with Kansas, and then I do think they have the possibility to beat Texas here. While I don't necessarily like the matchup, I do think Oklahoma's a really talented team. And if they were to see Oklahoma State in the final, I could not see Oklahoma State winning that series 3 times in a row in a rivalry series. So those are the 2 teams I like with value. Please leave in the comments what you guys think of this. What you guys think of this tournament? Who you guys think will win it all? Is there any crazy picks I made? I know I did a little bit of craziness here, but yeah. So if you did enjoy this content, would like to see more picks and brackets and things like this in the future, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.